Uh, Hello, everybody. Good morning. Yes, thank you so much. We're so glad that Clear Skies went well yesterday. Hey, Vanaglorious. Hey, Phoenix Goth. Hey, Not Always Weak. Thanks for always being here. Last night was amazing. Oh, thank you. Oh, good evening, Elkara Draco. Oh, boy. Not only that, but I've been trying to keep Bonnie in quarantine so that I don't get sick because I've got a lot of exciting things coming up this week that I'm actually filming. Like, of course I can't talk about, but I can't get sick right now. Did I ever tell you guys that I taught my nephew that? My little 5-year-old nephew. I just taught him to go around saying, I cannot get sick right now. And I think it's the funniest thing. Oh, Phoenix Goth, happy birthday! Hey, Queer Tremere. Happy birthday, Phoenix Goth. Thank you for joining us on your special day. Hopefully you have something else planned, too. If not, welcome. This is great, too. Yay! Okay, so we've been playing through Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York, and if I'm perfectly honest with you, I've got a lot of storylines going through my head right now that I have to keep track of in multiple RPGs, and this one is sort of at the bottom of my totem pole. So I remember not a lot. Let's see what happens. Let's just go into it. I remember that it's basically just me reading all of the lines. Oh, goodness. But it's nice and chill, and that's what we're all here for, right? We're all here to relax and have fun. Hey, Derek Lee Ketchum. Great to see you. That being said, let's jump into it. Boop, 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 boop. Much like Nick Arcade. Okay, I'm going to turn up the volume of the game because the music is incredible. I'm really a big fan of it, and let's switch over and load. Foxglove, that's right. If you get bored, give one of them the Noel Fielding voice. Good to see Bonnie didn't kill me. Oh my goodness. She's trying to with the virus, though. Not really. She's trying really hard not to get me sick too. I really appreciate it. Oh right. Okay, so we're getting a coterie. That's right. Okay. We're out on our own. We're meeting from some kindred, and we met the Malkavian Hope. Hope is about to head out into the city, accompany her, and see her true face. Right? Hope was the Malkavian. I like the name, but have you considered Zentabulous? I have not. Oh, you're just in the middle of watching Clear Skies VOD. I mean, don't let me hold you up. Then we've got Jezebel's Childer. Sophie mentioned a gangrel neonate by the name of Tamika, who's made herself a haven in Prospect Park. The Ferals aren't exactly a social bunch, even by kindred standards, but if you can keep her from clawing your eyes out just long enough, she might be persuaded to join you. Did I receive a gift bag from the family? Not yet. I'm meeting up with them sometime this week. That's right. Hope's the Mulk who made me be an internet mod for her. I viscerally remember that now. I like Jezebel's Child or Tamika. Oh, don't do it again. My watch was gonna respond. Faith and Myth, you received an invitation to meet a mysterious someone at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I remember that was a reveal. Or it's a kind of magic. Sophie's mention of a vampire clan of blood sorcerers sparked your attention. One of them, Agathon, could potentially be your introduction into the bizarre powers of the Tremere. That's, oh my gosh, my watch. I know. Behave this time. I like that. Let's go meet Agathon. You arrive at the address given to you by Sophie. A small bookstore, smack dab in the middle of Broadway, of all places. What really catches you off guard, though, is the store's display. From what you've heard about the Tremere, they're infamous for their ties to the occult and the mystical. And yet now, looking at the oddball collection of items in the display window, it all feels borderline satirical. The books here cover everything from Ayurvedic practices and homeopathy to wellness and self-motivation. The vaguely amusing juxtapositions don't end there either. You notice a copy of Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible tucked behind a cheap, smiling Buddha. A scientific journal on hematology sits next to a teen-oriented pamphlet on the blood-type personality theory. A number of religious and quasi-religious symbols, lockets, pins, and various emblazoned paraphernalia are haphazardly strewn across the display. Oh, the game just crashed! Guess it didn't like that! You know, Steam, you give me problems sometimes, but I gotta use you. I don't know what that says, but I'll restart. Do you see it? I think you do. Are we back? We're back. Okay. Why did that happen? My computer has been clicking a lot recently, which is concerning. Before you even open the door, you can smell the burning incense and hear the corny Far East tinged music seeping through the crackling speaker mounted above the entrance. We came to the right place. This is totally my... Clicking is not a normally good sign. I know. I think it's my graphics card or the fan with my... I don't know. I'm scared. Oh. You get a notification that my Steam crashed. Okay, anyway. This is totally my aesthetic, so we went the right way. It's much more quaint than what you expected from what Sophie told you about the so-called warlocks. It doesn't look like they have much interest in impressing outsiders. Then again, if there's anything you've learned these past few nights, it's that appearances can be deceiving. At this time of night, the shop appears to be closed. Regardless, you ring the bell. You hear someone shuffling around inside. A brief moment later, the latch slides and the door is pushed open just a few inches. A tired-looking blonde in loose clothes appears in the crack. She seems confused, like you just woke her up. She lets out a yawn, scratching at her tattooed neck. Finally, she squints at your general direction. Her pierced lip curves in an awkward smile. Is Agathon in? I'm here for occult advice. Got anything on vampires? Let's be subtle for this one. Oh, thanks, Ninfati. I'm here for occult advice. Hi, I'm here about a mystical problem. I need some occult advice, you could say. The girl gives you a suspicious look over, but opens the door. She takes a few steps back, and you hear footsteps coming from behind a floral curtain that covers the back door. A bespectacled, smart-looking woman emerges and looks straight at you. Come in and follow me. Just don't touch anything, please. You follow her through the store. Inside, as expected, the stuffy air smells of sandalwood, frankincense, and a dozen other aromas. No joke, I've got myrrh incense burning right now in my room. The woman leads you behind the curtain and through the back door, onto a rickety staircase. A flight of steps takes you up the second story. You instantly notice the change in decor, as the tacky New Age bookstore gives way to something resembling a cross between a library and a workshop. The smell here is strong too, but much more layered. You're not sure what to make of it at first, but with each whiff it becomes apparent. Blood. Ooh, thank you for hosting, Denise. Hey, Dee. That was well timed. It was just as I said the word, blood. The aroma, though subtle at first, soon becomes overpowering. It takes you a moment to adapt and focus. I don't think you know who you're speaking with, so an introduction is in order. My name is Aisling Sturbridge, and I am the High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs. You are Foxglove, correct? I have to say, you're lucky the ward outside the building is only there for notifications tonight. Otherwise, it would have been quite unpleasant. So, that occult advice line was cute, but unless you have something important, and I do mean important, to relay, I'm afraid I don't have a lot of time to spare. High Regent? Sounds important. How do you know who I am? Hey! Denise was summoned by blood. Suspicious. Thanks for following. Hiding above an occult bookstore. Really? Sorry, I just can't get over the fact that you're using this place as a front. I mean, an occult bookstore? Talk about keeping a low profile. I realize you're still new to this whole thing, so I'll take that as your youthful ignorance and not some misguided attempt at sarcasm. The darkest place is under the candlestick. You've seen the display. Tell me it's not the last place you'd look for an actual mystic. Now, not that I don't enjoy schooling clueless neonates, but may I ask what it is you're here for? I was expecting to find Agathon here. Sophie mentioned Agathon to me. I heard good things about Agathon. Sophie mentioned Agathon to me gives too much information away, because I mentioned Sophie. I was expecting to find Agathon here. And talk to him about working together. As you might have gathered, he is busy at the moment, so am I, in fact, so unless there's anything else. Suddenly, a man enters from a side room. He doesn't even look at you, lost in his own thoughts. I have it, Ethan. I know how to find it. He catches himself as he notices you. His face turns sour. A visitor! I forget if I already had a voice for him or not. Oh well. Yes, we were just discussing you, in fact. Is that so? Sophie Langley recommended you. I'm looking for allies. Let me introduce myself. Let me introduce myself. My name is Foxglove. I've been told you might be interested in teaming up. Teaming up? He seems very confused by the notion. What for? I could assist you in your work. For the company. What else? I could use your knowledge. I could use your knowledge. I'm new here, and a scholar like yourself could teach me a lot, I imagine. You're not wrong. He turns to Ashlyn. High Regent, may I ask your advice on this? She looks you over as if judging your worth. It takes her just long enough to make you feel uncomfortable. Actually, my child, I would consider giving this one a chance to prove their worth. Oh? She addresses you. I am trying to understand why Langley took an interest in you, Foxglove, and I might have caught a glimpse of her reasoning. I think you may be of aid to Agathon in his current task. Why don't you start by giving our intern here a brief explanation of what it is you're after? Agathon gives Ashlyn a hard look, but the woman nods approvingly. Encouraged, he turns towards you. A member of our clan disappeared without a trace a handful of nights ago. While the High Regent investigates if any foul play was involved, I have been tasked with recovering her research notes. If there's anything left to recover, that is. I may have an idea where to start looking, and I suppose this is where you come in. If you truly wish to help, I could use your assistance tonight. Right now, in fact. Given the time we've just wasted on idle chatter, I should leave immediately. What research is this about? Who's the missing person? What's the rush? Is someone else after the notes? Possibly. A story for another time, perhaps. These people aren't in the habit of making things simple. Facing layers upon layers of secrecy, you can only hope that what lies beneath is the real deal. I'm heading out. Are you coming or not? Sure, I'll join you. I need more info before I decide. On second thought, not interested. Sure, I'll join you. Very well. He gives Ashlyn a slight bow. High Regent, with your permission. She nods. Before you go, however, Foxglove, defer to Agathon in all things. Our clan values obedience above everything else. Prove you can follow, and this might turn into a mutually beneficial relationship. I will await his return and his report. Good luck, my child. Agathon bows again and heads out, urging you to follow. The High Regent watches you leave. Outside, Agathon leads you to his car. It's almost funny seeing him get behind a wheel. Somehow you'd expect a more mystical means of transportation. Thank you. You drive south. Oh, jeez, Agathon. Get your eyes out the mirror. Thank you for following. Ugh. Heading to the Lower East Side. Agathon seems lost in thought. Either that or he's a very careful driver. Either way, several minutes pass in silence. So, where are we going? So, the High Regent is your sire? Or remain quiet? You know, they keep saying my sire, my child the whole time. I feel like they're begging to be asked. Like, oh, is that your relationship? Thank you for following. So, the High Regent is your sire? Did I get that right? You mentioned it once or twice. Yes! He seems to be thinking of the right words before he decides to address you again. Let me ask you something. Why me? There's likely a couple hundred of us kindred in New York, yet you seek me out specifically. Why? Sophie spoke highly of you. You sound interesting. Dunno, just gave it a shot. You flipped the emoji. That's funny. Okay. Maybe you sound interesting. I've been told a few younger vampires I should meet. You sounded like an interesting guy. Interesting. I see. Once more, he grows silent. You're unsure whether to continue prying as your driver seems to disappear into his thoughts. You drive into Williamsburg and stop by a fancy-looking building. We're here. There's a restaurant on the top floor. You wanted to help, so here's your chance. I need you to get us inside the VIP lobby. Once we're in, I need about half an hour of focus and some space. It'll be up to you to keep attention away from the room. Can you do it? He doesn't wait for an answer and points to the front door. Go ahead. I'm right behind you. The two of you take the elevator up to the restaurant. The door opens and you see that there are only a few guests left, sitting at their tables. An important-looking staff member approaches you. I don't know what designates them as more important-looking than any other staff member. Maybe a badge or a vest or something. Ooh, a manager. Good evening. I'm very sorry, but the restaurant is closing for the night. I can make a reservation for next week if you wish. We're location scouting. I'm the special kind of client. Ooh, do I have... I don't know if I have social powers. I do, I'm Toreador. Right? Whatever. We're location scouting. Hey, we're not your regular customers. In fact, we're location scouting. For a movie. We'll just take a quick look around and we're gone. No, I'm sorry, we are not interested in being featured in a movie. I will have to ask you to look elsewhere. I would suggest Smith & Wollensky or the 21 Club. Presents, it's fine. We can come in. Ooh, this is gonna be a kindred, I bet. Hey, it's all good. We can come in. We'll be in the VIP lobby. It won't take long. The man blinks. A confused smile appears on his face. Yes, of course. Not a problem. Please, come right in. You walk in, trying to look casual, and make your way towards the VIP lobby. You step inside and close the door behind you. An ominous shadow designates them as important. Oh. It's a nice place, very highbrow. Lots of old, expensive-looking furniture and private rooms to discuss any sordid business one discusses when you're that rich. Your companion looks at you with something akin to admiration, or at least that's how you choose to interpret the slight change in his usual somber facade.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
He inspects the room. It's unusually cold, and Agathon soon discovers why. Looking behind a curtain, a window hangs open. The handle and lock look like they've been dissolved, as if with acid.
God damn it, Juno!
What's with the window? Who's Juno? Looks like she's gone. Thanks for hosting, Geek and Sundry. How nice of you. Yay. Who's Juno?
How about I tell you some other time?
He takes a frantic look around the room.
This changes things. Keep an eye on the door. I'll need some time. Half an hour at the very least. Nobody disturbs me, understand?
Hey, Denoba. Oh, hi. Nice. It's so good to see you. I miss you so much. Oh my gosh. Happy 2020. He hastily pushes a couch and some potted plants out of the way, moves a bar stool, and takes out a curved knife. Cutting into his own arm, he lets some of his blood drip onto the wooden floor. It's pretty fucked up the way his flesh oozes the deep red, thick vitae. In life, you'd have found it stomach-churning, but right now, you feel weirdly turned on by the sight. What follows is more disturbing yet. Yay. Oh, thanks about Clear Skies. Oh, thanks for watching. Yeah, Queer Skies, yeah. Hey, Denise. Thanks for hosting and joining us. With one hand, he sheathes the knife and seals the wound. With the other, he smears the blood around him while muttering some weird chant. It sounds vaguely Latin, but you're pretty sure it isn't. It's all more than a little disconcerting, but he seems to know what he's doing. Oh, yay! Thanks for the bits. You are my first. Aw, yay! This is the one time that's good news. I'm just kidding. Yee. A few moments later, the circle starts glowing faintly as thin wisps of smoke surround Agathon. Yikes. He sits down in the middle, legs crossed, eyes closed. Minutes pass. Agathon's face twitches from time to time, and his head turns every now and then, as if he was looking around or listening in on a conversation. The smoke grows thicker, forming a veil around the mage. You expected something more flashy, but it's still a sight to behold. You wonder what the point of it is, but refrain from asking. It's probably best to let Agathon do his thing. For close to 30 minutes, you're left to your own devices. Then suddenly, the door opens slightly, and the manager leans into the room. You tense up for a second, but he just gives you an awkward smile.
Anything you need?
You shoo him away before he can take a closer look at your companion, and he retreats obediently. 2 minutes later, Agathon casually gets up off the floor and walks over to the sofa. He pushes his hand in between the cracks of the upholstery and fishes something out. He then turns to you and nods.
We're done here. Let's go.
You make your way back to the elevator, passing the manager on your way. He gives you a slight, somewhat confused smile, but neither him nor any of his staff get in your way. Despite that, the elevator ride down feels tense, and the two of you only relax once inside Agathon's car. He starts the engine and takes a right at Continental Army Plaza, back into the bridge. You're just about to say something, but he beats you to it.
That went better than I expected, all things considered.
It might have been a trick of the light, but you're pretty sure you just saw a smile. Oh, hey, Scabby Rooster. Hey!
I'm used to working alone, but what I'm dealing with right now, it might require some more assistance. And you seem capable enough.
Thanks, I guess. Found what you came for? I can do more, you know. Thanks, I guess. I take it that's your way of showering me with praise? You could swear you just made him smirk. Yeah! Oh yay! Denise is streaming tonight sometime at 8:30 Pacific tonight. And I believe, Scabby Rooster, are you doing something tonight too?
You did fine. Once you really impress me, I'll be sure to let you know.
It doesn't take you long to reach the Warlock's hideout. Agathon waves at you absentmindedly, once again lost in his thoughts. Hopelessly so. Blank slate, one shot. Nice! That's tonight. Yeah, there's no Malks in this one. Aww. One of these nights you should probably take him up on his offer. Who knows, if you gain his trust, maybe you can actually break through his stoic facade and meet the man underneath. Oh. Yay. Oh yeah, happy birthday again, Phoenix God. Okay, let's go see the gang girl. You need to rest. Okay. Video games that tell me I need to go to bed. What is this, 2020? Not long after you wake up tonight, Gregory knocks on the door of your apartment. Gregory?
Hey, I came to pick you up. Miss Langley wants to see you.
Do you know what she needs me for? What if I don't want to see her? Well, my freedom was good while it lasted. Do you know what she needs me for?
I'm not in the position to ask.
He smiles politely.
The car's waiting. Shall we?
You wrestle with the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you should just leave, disappear, let Sophie find someone else to employ. But then you remember the Anarch thug being cut down by Kadir, and how close you were to the same fate not even a week ago, and that it might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked on one of the paintings in the room. You're pretty sure it's been here before, but she's behaving as if she's seeing it for the first time in her life, entirely entranced. Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to the both of you. A bit of irritation in her countenance, which soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. You're here. Excellent. Thank you, Gregory. Her driver leaves, and she turns her attention to you. I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances, but I have to say, I'm happy to see you, Foxglove. Thank you for coming. The change of the mood in the room is so sudden and startling, it makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally, you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language all feel 100% genuine in expressing legitimate interest in you and your well-being. I have a request for you this night. I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery. She points to the statue on the side of the apartment. You notice a plain-looking pen drive lying on the corner, right next to where the inanimate archer's bow touches the pedestal. The man you'll be looking for calls himself Kaiser. He has eyes and ears all around New York, and it's rare for something to happen here without his knowledge. I'll need you to take this memory stick and bring it to him. In exchange, he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible. You're about to ask what's on the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you. Oh, don't worry about the contents. They are encrypted. A precaution of the data fell into the wrong hands, but it won't, yes? She gives you a smile that just a handful of nights ago would make you feel like melting. Oh, and Foxglove, Kaiser is a Nosferatu, that twisted, deformed lineage of kindred. He's old, and his age made him even more paranoid than the others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens, and changes them often. From what I have gathered, him or one of his servants should be found at the park on Coney Island tonight. You'll have to identify them somehow. I'm told Kaiser has spent many of his nights these past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep your eyes open for it. That smile again, but much shorter. Anything more on Kaiser, Why do you need to trade with Kaiser? Why won't you look for Kaiser yourself? Why do you need to trade with him? Can't you just request the information, given your connections? Kaiser doesn't care about my or anybody's position. He considers information as valuable as blood, and makes it a point to never share it for free. He only deals with people who have something to offer, but trust me. She picks up the pen drive and puts it in your palm. I have more than enough means to grab his attention. She flashes one last smile at you and turns back at the painting, clearly done with the conversation. You pocket the memory stick and head out towards Coney Island. It takes you the better part of an hour to reach the lights and sound of Coney Island amusement park from the city. It's really pretty. The drive is almost pleasant at this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. That's a New York joke that I don't get. Yeah, it's a vampire dating simulator. There's plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. Then again, if they did stand out, it would have been kind of pointless, right? Nothing to do but figure out the right approach. Ask around for Kaiser, search for signs of Kaiser, or open my senses with Auspex. That's gonna happen. Ooh, this might be overstimulating. Yikes. Thank you. You take a moment to focus and try to pick up any details that would help you with locating Kaiser. Hui, hey, hey, hey. Okay. Initially, the noise of the nearby amusement park floods your mind and stuns you momentarily. Uh-oh. A child's crying, the loud bang of a car door closing, the bright old school logo of the Cyclone roller coaster. The bright old school logo, not old school logo. The bright old school logo of the Cyclone roller coaster all overload your senses, and you have to lean on a nearby booth to stay upright. You get it under control. Start walking, listening in, taking in the smells and sights, looking for something, anything to point you in the right direction. A man talking on his phone, a snippet of the conversation. Clean the red stuff in the garage. Tidied it up in general. The limo will fit for sure. Come on, dear. Don't be like that, boss. I didn't mean to. Yes, I know. I am. It's a privilege, Mr. K, sir. The call ends. The man tucks the phone away. It's a fancy model. Doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. It doesn't fit the guy's rugged looks at all. He notices you. Hey, what you looking at, huh? You're just the guy I was looking for. Any chance Mr. K stands for Kaiser? So you work for Kaiser? Let's be cautiously mysterious, right? You're just the guy I was looking for. Care to call your boss again for me? No, I think you've heard wrong. Piss off! Tell him Sophie sent you. Intimidate him into contacting Kaiser. Listen, man, I need you to contact your boss, and I need you to do it now. Quit wasting my time, or things will get unpleasant real soon. He doesn't take that well. He reaches into his pocket, produces a gun. You rush him. Bang! The bullet hits you in the arm, goes out the other way. It hurts, but what would be a debilitating wound for a mortal is just a nasty scratch for you. It takes a bit of brawling. The man's stronger than you'd expect, but using your powers, you're able to overcome him. With a few hits to the jaw, the man passes out from the pain. Ooh. Searching him, you find a fancy phone which doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. The phone's locked, but a recent smudge on the screen gives you a rough idea of what the combination might be. You get it right on the second try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, thank you. Ay. Thanks for following. There's just one number on the phone book, unlabeled. You choose it, hear someone pick up. The voice is like a rusty pitchfork shoveling gravel. Jackie, you're messing up my snuff session here. Better be something big. Come to Coney Island. I'll be waiting. Look how cool I am! I'm never the cool character. Silence. Not even a sound. The call ends. You try calling again, but the number is blocked. Nothing to do but wait and see if he shows up. Did I just set myself up for my own trap? Yep. I think so. Not 15 minutes pass before a black limo stops where you're waiting. One door opens in invitation. Who uses a pitchfork to shuffle gravel? The inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge, the kind with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but it has none of that currently. Instead, there are monitors and consoles. Dozens of displays, each one showing something different. Surveillance camera footage, stock market quotes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything when surrounded by all of this visual noise, then realize there's nobody there. Or is there? He blinks into existence on a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates a regal presence. You're 100% sure that's Kaiser. Surrounded by dimmed computer screen lights, his features are even more ghastly than you imagined. All sharp angles of twisted bone, severed flesh, and crooked teeth. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. Suddenly, somebody grabs you from behind, twists your arm, pushes your head against the car's roof. "I got him, boss! I have him!" The Nosferatu chuckles.
Congratulations, dickweed. Could have done that before you gave away the fucking phone. Just let them go already. But you're gonna make me repeat myself, you thick motherfucker.
He lets go. You have a look at him. The man's confused and clearly hurting. He flashes you an angry stare but obeys his boss's orders to the letter.
Well, you're waiting for a formal invitation. Get in the car. We have some talking to do.
The doors close behind you.
Well, I'm here, and I'm pissed. Unless you have a death wish, I assume there's something you have for me. Indulge me or start figuring out how to drink blood with your fangs up your shitter.
He sounds like Wilford Brimley mixed with the guy from, Sugar Water from Men in Black.
Diabetes.
Oh no. You reluctantly pull the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser. He plugs it into a USB port in the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happen to be turned away from you. It takes him about a minute to access the data.
Let me guess. This from Langley? She said she or something like this. You her new flunky.
You need to bite your tongue not to argue with the word he used, but you nod.
Vitabetus.
Oh gosh.
What do you people think I am? Who do you people think I am? I've seen footage a week ago.
He plugs the pen drive out and throws it back at you in disgust.
Tell Sophie the deal's off. She wants her address. She gives me something else.
Oh, okay. Ask him to give you a break. Nah, ask how you can make it up to him, and it's red for some reason, which I don't know what that means. Presence, ask him to make the deal. I don't want to. He's probably a higher level than me, so I'm gonna see what this red thing does. Ask how you can make it up to him. Oh, I can't choose it. That would have been a different power. Ask him to give me a break. Come on, give me a break. How could we have known you'd already seen this material? He gives you a patronizing look. Ugh.
Kid, you're new here, so I'll pretend I haven't heard that. You want your address? You're gonna have to work for it. I just got the idea. Yeah, something appropriate for an eager fledgling like yourself. More on that soon. Stay tuned. Now get the fuck out.
Pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. The opaque windows slide by you, and soon the limo is on its way out. Kaiser's lackey is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way to your car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. Well, that was interesting. I tried doing presents on him and he laughed and almost killed me. Yikes. Yeah, I made an impression. Oh gosh. Oh, I want to go see Hope again. When you get to the internet cafe, Hope is already waiting on the street. The sight catches you off guard. A part of you suspected she might be more of a shut-in. My haven is my castle type. Schumacher 2002. Perfect timing! We need to go for a ride! Get in, get in, get in! She doesn't wait for your response and jumps behind the wheel of a lavender vintage roadster instead. The engine starts roaring expectantly, causing everyone's heads to turn. Not wanting to attract needless attention, you quickly slip into the back seat of the car. The moment you shut the car behind you, the vehicle sets off, tires screeching. 0 to 100 real quick. Sorry for not bringing you up to speed first, but hey, this is NYC. Everybody's in a rush, and it is even more true when you're kindred. At bussy work.
Now allow me to take care of some business and I'll be right there with you.
Even as she's zooming past the traffic, she's still on her phone, of course. Nice car, watch the road, please. What's your business? It is a nice car. And I do like the let's talk about the car. How do you afford that? At vroom vroom beep beep. Thank you. The lavender really brings out its character, doesn't it? At bussy work.
About affording things in this city, it's pretty hard. You gotta be at the top of your game at all times.
Oh, thank you, Magette.
Might as well explain my business plan to you while I'm at it.
At discuss BTC.
So another extremely online mock based in New York goes by the name of Dev/Null told me to Google Ethereum a few years ago. That way I got into Bitcoin. And I found a new religion. 23-year-olds selling visions of governments replaced by benign code and decentralized consensus. Masses ruled by algorithms as just as the laws of physics. Idiot man-child investors trying to shape their reality through sheer fanatical zeal and dedicated collectors of something as abstract as their SHA/256 decryptions. Her driving style is far more aggressive and dangerous than you're comfortable with. Is it just you, or does she peek into the rearview mirror more often than she looks straight ahead? A hyper-speculative environment where nothing has real value, only abstract beliefs matter, and your life savings can be ruined by a single bullshit tweet. How could I refuse the allure? I started buying low and selling high on a variety of shady 24/7 exchanges that allowed me for 100 times leverage. As in, they'd lend me 100 times the capital I could bet with. I got lucky at the beginning and kept the ball rolling, shorting and longing, impulsively, recklessly. I got to the point where I became too big to fall, and that's when I cashed out. The car comes to an abrupt halt. You bump up against the seat in front of you. 100 to 0 real quick. Okay, the story will continue later. We're here right at the first stop. I'll need you to do me a favor. Where? What favor? First stop? What favor? At young, hot, petite ingenue. Nothing too difficult. Literally a jump out, jump in kind of deal. See that weird guy in a Yankees full cap standing around the corner? Approach him, tell him you're at young, hot, petite ingenue, take a phone he gives you and bring it here. Get going, honey, it's illegal to park here. You jump out of the car and approach the man Hope has pointed out. Not a lot you can tell about him based on his appearance, aside from the fact he seems pretty shady. The guy assumes a comically threatening pose as you approach him. The hell you want?
I'm at young, hot, petite ingenue.
No offense, but I kinda expected a girl. No, my bad for assuming. Damn.
He takes a phone out of his pocket and covertly passes it to you.
Everything has been prepared and preloaded according to your instructions. Should take about 2 minutes to transfer the data. You get out of here!
The man walks away with an exaggerated hip-hop gait. You hop back into Hope's car. She immediately steps on the gas pedal. At young hot petite ingenue, you got the phone? You're the best. Pass it to me, please. She connects the two smartphones using a cable and begins some sort of data transfer. Looks like it's an identical model. Hey, hey. After a minute or so, the process is complete. Thank you for following. Alright, goodbye, lovely. You've served me well. Hope opens the door. Hope opens the car window, grabs her old phone. You're not an expert to recognize the exact model, but it definitely looks like it had an $800 price slapped on it, and tosses it out the window. Surprised, you look behind you and see a car in the opposite lane running over the abandoned device. Hope notices your quizzical look. At Off the Grid Lifestyle. I've been reading a lot of burner phones lately. I'm not gonna use some cheap pieces of shit. So it's a pretty expensive necessity. Crossroads red light. She takes advantage of the moment to shoot a driving selfie that strategically excludes her face and upload it to Instagram. You notice her handle there is at Versace Beauty. At Discuss BTC. Now I was telling you a story. Bitcoin, cashing out, getting rich. Right. At some point towards the end of 2017, I became convinced I needed to cash out. There was no way the bubble was going to last forever. I always knew there would be no grapes of wrath for the cryptocurrency era. It would have to be a series of profoundly antisocial, disconnected events. The whole crypto culture was a decentralized church of lone millennials who rejected all established modern values and kept atoning for the original sin of not buying Bitcoin back in 2013. Another abrupt last-second turn. You get pressed against the window. What the hell is with her driving style? Better life you've never wanted to live anyway, and you get a chance to win a priceless pile of nothing. Untether yourself from all worldly desires. Find joy in suicidal ideation. To this day, money holds no real value to me. It's an abstract as a video game score, a bunch of numbers on a screen. This joyless world changed me forever. I knew I had to escape. So I took my piles of fictional dollars to a new arena, elite NYC social circles. Not because I wanted to scam them and make more, but because I wanted to finally have some goddamn fun. Wealth haver. I mean, of course, I had to scam them in the process, but it was only in service of becoming something more than a star, a constellation. Another abrupt stop, this time next to the entrance of a shifty-looking back alley. At Leaky Gut Syndrome. All right, friend, this time you're at Leaky Gut Syndrome, whistleblower extraordinaire. Whenever a press sneak fuck wants to leak, you've got it. Got it? Sorry for putting you out there in my place, but I only personally contact people as a last resort. It gets harder to protect my identity each time I show my face out there. And since I've got you, our man is waiting for you in this back alley. He's paying back a favor with a pen drive containing crucial information we need to stay safe in the city. Is pen drive a thing that people say that I didn't know? I've heard thumb drive or flash drive or USB drive, but I've never heard really pen drive. Retrieve it. I will be circling around the area. Make sure we aren't in danger right now. When you're done, get back here and I'll pick you up. Everything clear? Good. You exit the car and see it drive away in a hurry, then head into the narrow passageway. Sure enough, there's a man waiting for you at the end of the back street. Unshaven, wearing wrinkled clothes with a nervous eye tick. He looks even dodgier than the last guy you had met. Ooh, the shadow, it scared me. When you approach, he gives you a mean look.
You lost or something?
I'm at leaky gut syndrome. You said you've got a little something that might interest me.
Of course. Straight to the point, are you? All right then.
Clumsily, he produces a USB stick out of his front shirt pocket and holds it before your face. When you reach out to take it, he pulls back his hand and gives you a sly grin.
Getting all this data was risky, you know. Miss Montgomery is usually an unusually secretive person. Digging up dirt on her took more effort than I expected. Effort that should be rewarded, I think. The more you ask around about her, the more you expect a letter saying, give up your inquiries, which are completely useless, at your doorstep. Maybe attached to a severed cat head. You catch my drift? The secrecy that surrounds her screams friends in high places. Brave new world order. Illuminati shit, you know? Makes me think I deserve some hazard pay.
Refuse and bluff, start walking away, or agree with him. Start walking away. You try to imagine what Hope would do if she were in your place. Then you simply turn away and start walking back where you came from. Calmly, wordlessly, no negotiations. Just as you're about to walk out of his sight, you hear an annoyed grunt behind you.
All right. Yeah, I shouldn't have put you on the spot like that. My bad, okay? Get back here.
You turn around and look at the journalist expectantly. He sighs and extends the hand, holding a pen drive towards you again. You take it.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Not really sure what that's about, but one of my informants claims you might be interested in this.
He reaches into his inner jacket pocket and presents you with something wholly unexpected. It's a bag of blood labeled simply as ABRH-. You gave it a closer look, but that doesn't answer any questions that appeared in your mind. You peek into the journalist's cold blue eyes and see them twitch uncontrollably.
Don't ask me. They said you'll know what to do with it, leaking gut. Come on, take it.
Ooh, feeding opportunity to drink his blood, accept the blood, or refuse the blood. I'll just take the blood. I'll take it. I don't want to disrupt these connections. Nom him. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't think so. Thanks for your cooperation.
Another eye twitch. I don't want to drink that. Another eye twitch and an awkward silence. You hide the blood bag in your clothes and leave the alley the way you came from. Hope's car appears behind the corner just as you walk out into the street. It doesn't even fully stop when you approach, but slows down just enough so that you can jump in. The moment you close the door, she presses into the gas pedal with her full strength, causing the engine to roar. Her driving style definitely doesn't reflect how laid back she seems as a person. You throw the pen drive on the seat next to her.
Perfect. Any problems? How did the meeting go?
You relate the entire back alley encounter to her. Towards the end of the story, you notice she's not staring at the road or her phone, but directly at your face. The realization startles you. At Bloody Mary and Adderall. You've got that bag of blood with you? You place it on the seat next to her. She peeks at the label. She looks at it again. Then she steps on the brakes. At vulgar.
Fuck!
...
I'm okay.
She grabs both the bag and the pen drive you've obtained and throws them out the window. Looks like that's her favorite method of taking care of problems. That bag was a message. AB negative used to be my blood type. It's the rarest one, found in less than 1% of the United States population. Glad you haven't drank it. Who knows what they've done to the bag? Some NYC vets can tell you wild stories about using irradiated blood to locate and kill other kindred. Seriously? Glad I haven't drank from him. Yikes! Dodged a bullet there. Better safe than sorry, yeah. Still, I wonder if they could have done anything to his blood. That would be some kind of 5-dimensional chess move. But yeah, this contract is compromised. It needs to be cut off. Goodbye, my journalist frenemy, and goodbye, dear leaky gut syndrome. You've both outlived your usefulness. After a brief period of hesitation, she deletes the whistleblower extraordinaire account and sighs. Another one bites the dust. Admit it or keep quiet? Admit what? Admit what? Yeah, I want to be full transparency, so when you're done relaying the story, she chuckles. You're really horrible at the art of the deal, aren't you? Hey, I suppose the silver lining is that I don't have to worry about that anymore. Still. Wealth haver. Looks like I'm in bigger trouble than I expected. But never mind, we've got one more stop planned. Then I'll explain everything. Besides, I've got another story to finish. I was talking about Bitcoin, and then, where did I stop? Scamming, Constellation, NYC Elites. Those were kind of off points, NYC Elites. Oh, right. You know who saw the real face of this city? Anna Delvey. Ever heard of her? A Russian working-class girl, born as Anna Sorokin. Sorokin? She moved to New York in 2013 and convinced everyone she's this insanely rich trust fund kid, a wealthy German heiress. Manhattan elites totally fell for it, and they kept buying it for years while she kept swindling them. She only got arrested in 2017 after having stolen almost $300,000. Sorokin created her Delvey persona out of thin air, convinced everyone she was going to set up an art fund, and kept tasting all of life's finest pleasures while being basically broke. She even made up a fake family financial advisor and then killed him off when he became a liability. And apparently, most of her rich victims never admitted to being scammed out of shame. She sounds like James from Pokemon. Yay! Hey Osborne, welcome. By now you're sure. The way she scrutinizes her surrounding, her reckless driving, she's trying to escape somebody. Now Delvey's locked up with murderers and Rikers, writing down her memoirs, apparently picking a lot of fights. Thanks for following. God bless her heart. She'll forever be an inspiration. But I have more advantages than she ever did. I have my own considerable funds, and I can rely on many more made-up people than just some old-ass financial advisor. A whole bunch of fake content creators and influencers that every rich dumbass wants to get in touch with and collaborate. Makes it super easy to get more money than I invest. You've seen it firsthand, both as a deceiver and a deceived. It's a city of illusions. Make non-existent money, come up with a fictional status, play nonsensical camarilla games, and one day you might just find yourself at the top. All right, we're reaching our last stop. You look around, you're coming up on a parking garage. At Devil Woman Doctor. You're gonna take the elevator to the 70th floor. Give the masked man you meet in the front door this memory card. It contains an art house movie I've made. Art house movie? What do you mean by art house? You've seen me rehearsing it in my haven. You know what I mean? You didn't think I was doing that just for show, did you? I found some filthy rich Manhattan pervs who'd pay a fortune for a convincing vampire cam show. I don't need the money, but their IT industry connections gave me an idea. When we give them this memory card, we'll access to the tech that should allow us to take on my biggest enemy in the city. So your nickname this time is gonna be a Crash. You are momentarily dazed and can't immediately understand what happened. The first thing you know for sure is, if you were still a normal human being, you'd be dead for sure. You replay the last few seconds in your head. The other car appeared out of nowhere and crashed into Hope's vehicle at the maximum speed it was able to achieve in this closed-off space. Yikes, another shadow! Yeah! Okay, we're fine. The driver's already managed to kick out the mangled door next to him and stumble out of his seat. Now he wordlessly approaches the trunk. Takes out a large caliber silenced pistol out of it. Ah! He starts approaching the lavender wreck of Hope's car, obviously ready to finish the job he started. You have to be fast and violent. It's you or him now. Okay, I'm fast. Celerity. I'll run the gun. Your instincts take over. The world stops moving just as you start running. He can see you, of course, but not as a well-defined shape. It's a blur, and its speed is faster than his arm. His aim, rather. It gets closer to him. He's scared. It's next to him. He's terrified. A series of superhuman swift punches ruptures his body in all sorts of horrifying ways. His world briefly turns into an ocean of agony, then disappears forever. You stand up above the gunman's body, trying to calm yourself in your killer instincts. That's when you hear her voice. At same but unironically. Ugh! Hope slithers out of her car and sees you standing over your assailant. Ugh, you did it! Pretty good! She approaches the body of the driver you killed and kicks it so that she can take a better look at it. Upon seeing the front of the corpse, she lets out an annoyed grunt. Ugh! Knew it would be this asshole! He's been following us all day, and I know just who he belongs to. Even before she's done talking, she's already trying to reach someone through a video call. Eventually, she succeeds. You see a nonchalant woman in business casual clothes on her smartphone screen. Ooh! Cara Montgomery, how can I help you? Cora! Vulgar says. Herb, didn't expect you to ever reach me through this channel. Have you thought things through? Wait, did something happen? Vulgar. Did something happen? You fucking ghouls just trying to kill me, you crazy bitch! That's what fucking happened! Calm yourself, for Christ's sakes. This is a baseless accusation. I know he's from Double Spiral! He's been working in her motherfucking company! Come on. You know I can't be held responsible for independent actions of my subordinates. Why don't we just meet up and talk it over? Hope disconnects the call and instantly blocks Kara from contacting her. You corporate shithead! You make me sick! Tired, she turns her gaze to the dead ghoul. Holla back, woman. I'll dispose of him. Help me put him in my car. 30 seconds later, his body is lying on the back seat of the lavender-colored wreck. Okay, good. You take a look at the scene of the carnage in front of you. Every sucker here gets us closer to a serious masquerade violation. I have to exchange my pound-worthy masterpiece for the goods some other time. She gets behind the wheel, and you follow her inside. Meet me in my haven when I let you know it's safe. For now, I need to dump this asshole somewhere. I have my car fixed and plan our counterattack. You guide Hope to your own haven. She drops you off, and before she leaves, she makes what's about to come perfectly clear. At me. If we want to survive this city, Cara Montgomery needs to die. She disappears into the traffic. You disappear into your place. And Cara sounds like Marvin the Martian. There was an earth-shattering, vampiric kaboom! Modulator! I feel like this is X. We talked to this person. D'Angelo! It's been a while since you heard. Oh, wait, I need to rest. You're walking down the street towards your haven. In some other town, the sidewalks would be deserted this time of night. In NYC, there are plenty of passers-by going about their business. It's easy to be paranoid when you're a vampire surrounded by a crowd of humans. The kindred have many enemies, and all of those enemies have one trait in common. They're invisible, indistinguishable from normal humanity. Other vampires, hunters, all look like people. Is that old man just a tired restaurant worker? Or a kindred thrall? Or a kindred thrall tailing your movements? Are the officers idly waiting in a patrol car ordinary cops? Or Second Inquisition specialists, looking to end undead threats. This kind of thinking leads to madness, but you can't shake the feeling that someone is watching you. It's not the first time you've felt like this. Can I save? I think it saves automatically when I rest. I think. Following a queue of so many mortals around you, you stop at a street corner to casually survey your surroundings, as if you were trying to remember which turn to take. You look around ostensibly at street signs, but in reality, to see if someone is really following you. Down the street where you came from, a crowd of young, drunk men are arguing loudly about baseball. There's an indistinct figure standing behind them, almost impossible to notice. Okay, this red around the edges, I think this means that I am getting hungry. A woman, probably. Oh no. You know, I'm just gonna give a trigger warning right off the bat. This is probably not a great situation. The men unconsciously move around her as they start to walk away, still mouthing off at each other. Whatever this is, it's probably something you have to take care of. Best case, someone is tailing you. Worst case, you'll be attacked and killed. Unfortunately, being undead has its limitations. The sun is coming up soon, and you'll burn to a crisp if you stay on the streets. Oh, okay, we're fine. You reach your haven and settle in for the day, disconcerted by the idea that someone may know where you sleep. Oh. Okay. As you wake from your slumber and emerge from your haven for the night, you notice a familiar face on the other side of the street, standing on the corner and looking straight at you. If Mark Zuckerberg is a vampire, then isn't he Mark Zuckerberg? Oh no. He's not afraid of vampires because robot blood tastes like Zima to them. Says Greedo shot first. McClunky. It's Kaiser's lackey, whom you met recently. Jackie. He nods to you, encouraging you to approach. He's still kind of rough after your last brawl, but the damage to his face is clearly mended. His hands are out of his pockets, though, a sign of goodwill.
That's close enough.
What the hell do you want? Says who? Let me guess, Kaiser sent you? Bye, P.A. Perriman. Let me guess, this is not a social visit. Kaiser sent you?
Don't say his name out loud, idiot.
He looks around just to make sure. He looks around just to make sure nobody's listening in on your conversation.
Yeah, he sent me. I'm supposed to give you this.
He produces a crumpled piece of paper from his jacket pocket and hands it to you.
Read it, memorize it, and then give it back here.
It's a letter. The paper might be just a page ripped out of a spiral notebook, but the writing on it is exquisitely detailed and deliberate. It reads, "Time to square the debt with me. Go to the wine shop at 232 Mulberry Street and ask for the 1821 Special Reserve Donatello Negramaro. When they tell you they don't have it, say you are a fedele servitore della famiglia G. Those exact fucking words, and make sure you get the G right. You'll get a bottle. Just take it and leave by, saying grazie. Don't ask how much it is or anything else. Just walk out. When you have it, come back to Jack... Oh, this was Kaiser. Oh, well. Come back to Jackie boy here and let him know. That's what he sounds like when he writes. Or that's Foxglove reading voice.
You done? Memorize that shit and hand it over.
What's the rush, buddy? What's all this cloak and dagger nonsense? Didn't think your boss was a letter guy. What's the rush, buddy? I don't see what the rush is.
Hey, it's your funeral. I can stand here all night and even enjoy a nice sunrise while I'm at it. Not a luxury you have. Just hand me back the letter once you're done.
You note the phrases mentioned in the letter and the address, then hand the letter back to Jackie. He immediately reaches for a lighter and burns it, putting the ashes out with his boot.
So yeah, when you do what the boss asks, come back here so I can tell you where to go next. I'll be in the alley over there, so find me when you have the item, or whatever it is. I don't know, and the boss made it extra clear that I shouldn't care, so I don't. See ya.
He shuffles away and leaves you to pursue the lead in the letter. Time to pay a visit to Nolita. You arrive at the address mentioned in the note. Not counting the local restaurant patrons, the street is mostly empty at this time of night, but curiously, the wine shop is still open. Ooh. Oh, I need to feed. This is my hunger meter. I haven't fed in a long time, and I'm at the wine merchant. This background specifically reminds me of Dream Daddy. Inside, a small middle-aged woman with curly hair stands behind the counter in front of the entire wall of wine bottles. There's a door at the end of the room with a small table and a chair occupied by a man with a slick comb-back hair who's dressed in a black faux leather jacket. Oh, a bruja. He's reading a newspaper, but pauses as a little bell rings when you open the door. He takes a sip from a small steaming cup, then gets back to his broadsheet. Is it a red wine cup that is steaming? Good evening. How can I help? Be direct. Chatter up. Tell our friend sent you. Let's be direct. I would like a bottle of the 1821 Special Reserve Donatella Negro Romano, please. Let me check our stock. She seems to be looking through a database on the laptop sitting on the counter. She puts on a polite smile. I'm afraid we don't have that one at the moment. Sorry. Recite the phrase, straight and simple. Casually recite the phrase. Recite the phrase and reassure her. Recite the phrase, straight and simple. I am a fedele servitore della famiglia G. Ah, in that case, let me see if we have any in the back. Wait here, please. The woman leaves the counter and goes to the doors in the back. The man by the table puts down his newspaper and takes another sip from the cup, washing it down with a gulp of water from a nearby glass. Interesting. He tries to hide it, but there's no doubt he's watching you. About a minute passes. Remain silent and wait. Chat the guy up. Borrow the guy's newspaper. Let's find out who this is. So, how's your evening so far? The man looks at you with a smirk, but doesn't answer. The doors to the back of the store open, and the proprietor emerges with a small, unlabeled, squat bottle of crimson liquid. She gives you an apologizing smile. Scusi, sorry for taking so long. Turns out we did have it. She offers you the bottle, and you reach out to grab it, but she retracts it. You do know what this is, don't you? Quit stalling, I'm on a schedule, or presents, I'll be taking this, thank you. Yeah, let's do that one. You focus your blood and immediately see both of the people in the shop focus intently on you and what you're about to say. I know exactly what this is, and I'm the right person to give it to. The woman gives you the bottle without hesitation. Grazie. Deciding you've pushed your luck far enough, you nod and exit the store, then take a brisk walk to your car. Nobody follows you as you leave Nolita and drive back to your apartment. I need to eat! It takes you some time to find a parking spot, but finally you get out of the car and start looking for Jackie. He's not far from where you parted ways just under 2 hours ago. 2 hours? What was I doing? Got the goods? Sure do, I do, but it was a hassle. Any ideas what this is? Sure do.
Cool. Stand by, gotta make a call.
He takes a few more steps into a narrow space between the two buildings. Takes out the same high-tech phone you saw him carry the last time.
Hui!
I would like a word with the game devs about their Italian, but yeah, right? It didn't feel right. But apart from that...
Hey, boss. Yeah, they have it. Where do I point them to? Okay, yeah, I'll tell them to go there right away.
He puts the phone back inside his pocket and turns back to you.
Will's Point. Half an hour, so you better step on it. See you around.
With just a flippant salute, Jackie starts walking down the street. You make your way back to the car and drive. You had to push the speed limit to make it on time, but you're here. Willits Point is quite a change of scenery. The place is a post-industrial dump, the nearby stadium notwithstanding. You stop your car once you realize that if you go any further down, the potholes are going to kill your chassis. You step out into one of those gashes in the asphalt, splashing in the ankle-deep water. Kaiser's limo is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the whole place is pretty much deserted, other than the apparent proprietor of a lonely bar, a middle-aged woman who's just locking the place up. Wait for Kaiser, look around for Kaiser. Feeding opportunity! Bar owner. This is too perfect of an opportunity not to take advantage of. She's walking to her car, ready to call it a night when you sneak up on her. She's far too tired to resist your strong hold and swift bite. You can taste the caffeine in her veins, smell the cheap cigarettes in her hair, the old cooking grease in her clothes. She passes out. Your assault the closing note of a long day at work. You let her down gently and feel a pang of remorse. You pick up the car keys she dropped and place her in the driver's seat. She'll find an explanation for passing out like this for sure. The bright lights of the car pulling up down the road illuminate you as you close the door. It's a black limo. Kaiser is finally here, it would seem. Aha, Polish developers, sometimes it's problematic to translate other languages with different sentence structures. That makes sense. But you'd think they would get an Italian or someone who speaks Italian to just kind of look over it, since they're closer than here. Same as last time, the car door opens, but nobody comes out. You know the drill. This time Kaiser is visible the first time you look inside. You sit down and close the door behind you.
So, you pulled it off without a hitch, then. Give it here.
You hand the bottle over to the Nosferatu. He uncorks it gently, takes a whiff, and puts the cork back in.
That's the stuff. See, that wasn't so hard. Consider your debt paid. Oh yeah, and also have this. It's what Langley wanted.
He passes you an envelope with what feels like a thick card inside. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Now we're even. I think you still owe me a bonus. You know what? No, I do push the envelope in things, but I'm never like... You know, as I say things out loud, I'm contradicting them in my head. I'm like, I'm never the one that wants money. No, wait, you're Ricky Huckster. But I think you still owe me a bonus for the extra legwork.
And I think you're a dumb piece of shit for even bringing it up. We can't both be right. Time for you to get out, now.
That's fair. He waves you out of the car. With the envelope in hand, you get back out into the torn asphalt and decrepit surroundings. The limo slowly drives away. Finally, you can return to Sophie and bring her what she wanted. Gregory lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh, and you realize Sophie's having a guest over. Thomas Arturo. You met in Elysium a few nights ago. That shriek is unmistakable. Ah, Foxglove, so good to see you. Tell me, did you two have a chance to talk before? Thomas speaks out before you can. Why, yes, of course. And such a good first impression you made too. Miss Langley clearly did the right thing by taking you under her wing. I'm sure she thinks so too, don't you, Sophie? Why, of course you do, of course. Well, I believe I've got to be going. I'll be sure to let Prince Panard know your thoughts, Miss Langley. Word for word, or as close as I can remember them. I appreciate it, Thomas. You do enjoy your night now. Good night, Sophie. Foxglove, Griggy boy. He gives you a sly smile. Sophie's driver opens the door for Arturo, and the guest steps out with a single wave of the hand towards his host and you. The doors close. He's quite the character, isn't he? Yes, quite. But he has his uses. Thomas has the clout in court, and access to many juicy details on everyone from the prince to the lowliest primogen. It's useful to have him on your side, even if his eccentricity requires some patience. Speaking of patience, you have been putting mine to the test lately. Did you manage to contact Kaiser and acquire what I asked for? Yes, but I had to do another job for him. I have it. Sorry for the wait. I'd appreciate some more gratitude. How about yes, but I had to do another job for him. I want to tell the truth, but I don't need to be a dick about it. Yes, I have it, but the data you offered him was old news to him. I had to go to another job for him before he gave me this card. She retrieves the envelope from you. I'm sure he did. I do hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. I had to retrieve a bottle for him. I had to deal with his servant first. He's just a huge prick. He made me go on an entire separate escapade to retrieve a bottle of wine from a store in Nolita. I had to use the code phrases and whatnot. Wine shop? Code phrases? That degenerate past. She's visibly agitated, but calms down and smiles at you. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure that whatever Kaiser had you do, it'll blow over. She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice the same lettering you saw in Kaiser's note from before, but can't see the details. Her eyes widen. Yes, excellent. I need to call on some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. You have my permission to show some initiative, my dear Charge. I will contact you soon. With that, Sophie ushers you outside, and you are left to do with the rest of the night's hours as you like. Well, there's not much left. I don't even have to go rest. Okay. We were gonna go see D'Angelo. Maybe he's busy, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Or maybe he's pissed off the wrong people and is now rotting in a ditch somewhere. Either way, now's as good a time as any to check up on him. You make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and up the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. Before we go further, I'm going to announce that we're going to be stopping in about half an hour-ish, maybe 40 minutes, and we're going to raid over to another channel in the community. So if you have somebody that is on now that maybe we haven't heard of before, recommend them in chat, and we will throw over to them as soon as we're done here in about 40 minutes. Let's go into D'Angelo's office. Oh, there's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan through the crooked lettering. There's been another one at Lucine now. Come to Bed-Stuy, corner of Pulaski and Garvey, ASAP. Looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going. As you approach the address D'Angelo gave you, a squad car passes you by, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from Del Cab Ave into Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light and 4 or so police cars parked on the nearest corner next to an ambulance. Confirm that you're in the right place. Random Tuesday! Cool, yeah, let's do it. Let's wait until Tech starts dating that hot Ferengi club owner. I could see it happening. You move closer to what appears to be New York's finest convention, looking around in the hope of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant, face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street, trying not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance to the building looks straight at you. He gives you a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think to yourself as you notice him making his way towards you. Calmly wait for him to approach, start walking away, or make a run for it. Definitely calmly wait. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. You try to remain calm, even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit. You can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Is it? Suddenly he stops, as if instinctively realizing he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively and yells back in a thick Brooklyn accent. Hey! This is an active crime scene! Be on your way! Uh-oh. Relieved, but trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigar and cheap cologne didn't give him away, the gravelly voice sure does.
Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner.
Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. Feeding opportunity. We can take him. We can take him. What? I think that was a mistake. We can take him, no sweat. See? There's only 2 of them.
That we know of. Might be more inside. I don't know, kid. I can handle risky, but this seems downright stupid.
Grow some balls, or you're probably right. You know what? You're probably right. Better safe than sorry, and I'm fine. Let me talk to them. I'll get us in. Yeah, I can. Why don't I talk to them? I might convince them to let us in. He gives you a look as if you just ripped a massive fart.
Right. Look, kid, it's not that I don't trust you, but how about we give that raw animal magnetism of yours a dry run, huh?
Wait a second. Oh, I think this is still him talking.
Pretend I'm one of the cops guarding the entrance. Convince me to let you in.
I'll pose as a detective. I'll pose as a tenant. I'll just use my powers. I'll pose as a tenant. Evening, officers. I live here. Is there a problem?
Yeah, this here's an active crime scene. Be on your way.
But...
Hey, it's your butt against mine. Get lost.
Maybe you're right.
Of course I am. So what else do you got?
Feeding opportunity, we can take him. Oh, wait, no, we already said no. Okay. You're probably right. And then, hey, how about you do your shadowy skulky thing? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside.
Shadowy skulky thing? Jesus, kid. Childish phrasing aside, it's as good an approach as any, I guess.
Without another word, he gets out of his car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. Poses the property manager. Could have done that. A minute passes. Then another one. Then another one. Another one. And then another one. You begin to worry. Another one. What if there are more cops inside? Another one. What if your moldy partner has gotten himself in trouble? Another one. Suddenly, a shadowy silhouette appears in one of the windows on the second floor. Looks like he made it after all. At least you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points to the corner of the building, opposite the 2 cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you find a ladder leading to a fire escape has been conveniently dropped for you. Good work, D, you mumble to yourself as you climb to the second floor. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room. Okay, Welch is online. Nice! That could be fun too. It's whoever is online. Yeah, she was on, well, I don't think she was ever, she might have been on something with GNS, but she's based in Seattle as well. We did, Lost Odyssey together. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. It reads, "His gift, our fate." You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on his cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean in a bit, trying not to make it obvious you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue.
The night's been kind to them so far, but the questions keep piling on, and now that they find themselves amidst the wreckage of another life, it was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers.
Suddenly he tenses up as if sensing your eyes upon him.
Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catches your eye?
Another piece of graffiti. His gift, our fate. Yeah, she was Rosie Bastinger. With C-Team on Acquisitions Incorporated.
Yeah, there's that. What do you think it means?
It's about Cain. His gift. Isn't there a theory that Cain was the first vampire?
Oh, it's more than a theory. To some, it's a deeply held belief.
And yeah, you're right. It's about the gift of Cain. As in vampirism. Our fate. Clearly, someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it, I hate where this is going.
Which is...
Me being right. About thin blood involvement, I mean.
Gehenna!
Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. Out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body.
Is that really necessary? Are you protecting thin bloods? Sure, might as well be prudent. In for a penny, in for a pound.
My thoughts exactly. The Duskborn have it bad as it is. If I'm gonna accuse one of them of breaking the Masquerade, I want solid evidence. And I mean rock fucking solid. Luckily for us, I might know someone who will get us an audience with our dearly departed.
To your surprise, he pulls out his cell phone. A busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes the call. Okay, I'm gonna pause real quick because have you seen the movie It Follows? If you haven't, it's very good. It is a psychological thriller, scary movie. Very good. But in it, it's like an alternative 80s type of thing. And they had this, one of the characters has a cell phone or like a Kindle type contraption that is literally a clam shell, like a toy, like a Polly Pocket type toy that opens up and it's digital on the inside. And I was like, why do I not have this? It's 2020 and I want it. I want it in my palms. Thank you.
Hey, you know who this is. Yeah, that favor you owe me, time to deliver. Listen, I know you got a fresh one. The murder in Bed-Stuy. Bed-Stuy? 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 I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you'd better.
With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. That was so random. I know. I know, but it's important. Aren't cell phones forbidden?
Only if you tell him. Look, kid, I don't use it willy-nilly, alright? It's for special occasions. You don't always have time to throw fucking rocks at windows. Can you live with that, or should I worry about being sent to the principal's office?
I'm not gonna rat on you. Relax, D. I'm not gonna rat on you. He shoots you a smile. For some reason, it seems less crooked than usual.
Good to know you, kid. Oh, good to know, kid. Anyway, looks like my guy's gonna come through. Next stop, Kings County.
Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. Yikes. It's a dangerous place for a kindred to show their face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions. Especially the sort that makes up the very essence of a vampire's existence. For instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County Morgue. Thanks for following. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then you glance over at the undead gumshoe, as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't, or it doesn't, or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back, making sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and exclaims, seemingly to no one in particular, "Room 112! You got 20 minutes!" D'Angelo speaks without looking at you.
That's our cue.
You follow the fanged detective through the same door the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear. He's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of one of the doors. Room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted on its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on its steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face, his features twisted in an abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice 2 small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. I said neck. Ay. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you're yet to see it. That really sucks. Ahaha. Looking over to D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a familiar motion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Sucked dry, just like the last one. Are those teeth marks? Look at his face. I like playing into his fantasy. Sucked dry, just like the last one, see?
Yeah, I'm guessing you noticed the teeth marks as well.
He points at 2 barely visible marks on the victim's neck.
Dead giveaway. Fuck.
As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on his clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you. Yet. Feeding time. Feeding opportunity. We get him in the corner now. Letting your instincts take over, you pounce on the unsuspecting doctor, plunging your fangs into his aorta. The precious liquid tastes sickeningly sweet, making you feel a bit lightheaded. It appears the good doctor has been getting high on his own supply. It takes you a moment to get your fill, but when you're finally done, you immediately feel D'Angelo's eyes upon you. You start coming up with an excuse, but he just smirks.
You're a quick kid, I'll give you that. Beat me to it by a pube.
Now come on, let's get out of here.
Now come on, let's get out of here.
I think they meant carotid. That definitely didn't say aorta. We're getting in deep. It's not easy to bite someone's aorta. Yeah, I think it meant carotid artery. Or an artery, maybe. Yikes. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Robert Larson. Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears the thin-blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than arouse a suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who would happen to look. Looks like the time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple of minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front and in D'Angelo's face.
Listen to me, you moldy fuck! I've just about had enough of your shit! You want to pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it!
For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost.
Are you finished? Alright. Now you listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? Do you think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet theater you've made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget.
For the first time since you've met him, Larson looks speechless. His eyes wide with fear, he can only mutter under his breath.
You wouldn't dare!
Try me.
Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to another. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. Oops. Oh well. Come on, Larson, just give us something. It's been a rough day. Night.
See, Robert, my assistant here is tired of your shit, too. So, what's it gonna be?
If you want my help, put me the fuck down!
With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar with a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity.
There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter.
Yeah, I know it.
If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for.
D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable.
We'd better.
Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder like he's going to tell the teacher on you.
No, I'm going to tell.
You look to your partner, meaning to ask that whole things you'd rather forget deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts in with a preemptive mutter.
Come on, we got what we came for.
As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You'd think it abandoned, if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, this looks like one of the places in Bloodlines. Hui! Hui! If ever there was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. I see ya, Star Wars. I see ya. I get it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike. Their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. D'Angelo leans over and whispers in your ear.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in here. I'll cover the back door. You stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find.
Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadows. Look around quietly. Try to flush the killer out. Auspex! Focus the senses! You plunge into the full spectrum of the room, hoping to hear someone or something worthy of attention. You regret it almost instantly. The room... Oh, no. This always happens when I use my Auspex. The room becomes a deafening echo chamber, a sea of babbling lunatics, of muttered curses and drug-induced ramblings. You're almost ready to give up when a faint whisper catches your attention. A female voice, soft, trembling.
The gift. He speaks to us. The blood speaks.
A few words are enough to tell you you've just hit the jackpot. You follow the voice to its source, a young woman hunched in the corner of the room. As you walk towards her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you.
Nice catch.
He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravelly timbre, it's not really working out.
Hey, yeah, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. Just want to talk.
No, don't talk. Too loud. Too loud.
She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender.
Alright, you quiet. Got it. Can you tell me your name?
Sana. That's what he called me.
Suddenly, you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams, "Kindred!" Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery, or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously without even knowing it. Hello there, and who might you be? Hey, what's a girl like you doing in a place like this? Hold it. What's your business here? Let's just be friendly. As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head as if examining a curious specimen of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance.
You! Hey, Val. That's my assistant you got there. You mind?
She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll.
Where is she?
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling.
Don't play coy, Ginny. The manslayer. I know she's here. A blood hunt has begun. By order of the Princess Oaf, the girl is to meet her final death.
Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too.
Look, sweetie, I'm not here for some clip measuring contest. You want this to get ugly? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job.
By all means.
He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look to the corner where you last saw Sana, but find no trace of the girl.
Well, I could swear she was just here.
Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off.
You'll regret this.
Story of my life.
Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction.
Come on, kid. Let's get out of this shithole.
As you emerge from the said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost.
Okay, kid. I know you got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count.
Who the hell is Valerie? Do you know where the girl went? What do we do now? Our perp's gone, and now we're on some psycho chick's shit list. What the hell do we do now?
Well, the good news is we know what we're looking for. The bad news is Valerie knows it as well. She's a scourge, kid. Part enforcer, part assassin. All around pain in the ass. We'll be seeing more of her, you can bet on that. And before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid, I don't know about you, but I'm turning in.
Hey, thanks for the Walking Dead.
I'll figure some stuff up. Keep looking for our girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two.
And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. Rest. Ooh. Who are you? What are we at? 10 minutes? Ah. 10 minute. Thank you for the 10-minute warning. Let's see. Okay, a nosy reporter. It's a new sleazy reporter from a gossip magazine sniffing around Sophie's haven. She could use your help with the problem. Let's see how far we can get. The streetlights filter into the apartment in a stark white glow, as if someone were shooting a movie outside. I hear Spike Lee shooting down the street. The art pieces display a tasteful expense, entirely fitting the image you have of Sophie. It feels as if 1,000 sins have been committed on these premises, most of them under her benevolent hospitality. Sophie comes to greet you as you enter the living room, shaking her head. You understand that people judge me based on how you dress, don't you? Sophie looks at your clothes as if resigned to your sartorial limitations. I can take care of myself. I've tried to dress inconspicuously. Bah humbug, thank you. I've had other things to worry about. I've tried to dress inconspicuously because of the masquerade? That's very sensible of you. I suppose I should commend you for that. Sophie walks to the window and looks out. The streetlights playing on her features. She reminds you of a queen contemplating the unfortunate limitations of her subjects. You'd think that as a vampire, at least we wouldn't have to worry about the vultures of the press. Unfortunately, when you have power and ability, there are always parasites trying to feed on you. Is there a reporter after you? I used to have a journalist friend. I'll go beat the bastard up. Is there a reporter after you? At a masquerade, you have to dress conspicuously to be inconspicuous. Yes, a terribly persistent creature. Sophie steps away from the window and settles down a sofa. On a sofa, a wine glass with red liquid in it. Blood, treated as to not spoil. You've become good at noticing the scent, even from a distance. She doesn't offer you any as you cautiously sit down across from her. That awful man has been stalking my apartment with a camera. A camera? He's gone through my trash. Talk to the neighbors. Please be a dear and explain to him there's nothing for him here. Boo, boo, boo. Auspex, you're enjoying this. Is this about the masquerade? I'm not an errand boy. There's not a lot of great choices. Let's call her out. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I can see it in you. Nonsense! Some rancid beast is stalking me, that's all. It's just that the secrecy of the masquerade is a bore sometimes. A necessary bore, but a bore nonetheless. Isn't this dangerous? For all kindred? Of course it is, if we don't make it go away. Do you know anything about the reporter? Man, woman, young, old, anything like that? All gossip reporters look the same to me. Time for you to go. I have business to attend to. Zero help. You leave the apartment as Sophie disappears into another room. You don't have a clear idea of the game she plays with the city's mortal and immortal power structures, but she always seems to be making a move. Outside on the street, there's a slight warm drizzle, the kind that gets under your clothes and makes you want to take a shower when you get back to your own haven. No reporters immediately jump out to you. Now let's enhance the senses. New York smells of people, thousands and thousands of them packed together. It takes a moment for you to get grips with the full panoply of sensation, but once you do, there's one that sticks out. Cheap aftershave. The strong imprint of someone who's been hung around the building a lot, strong enough to persist despite the light rain. Stale cigarette smoke. Sweat. You follow your hunch as you walk closer, reflect on how sometimes being kindred makes things so easy. You enter an alley, a dark, dingy space between the two tall buildings. Once upon a time, a place like this might have worried you, made you think of muggings and violence. Now it's clear that the most dangerous thing here is you. The man you are following seems to realize this too. He holds his camera in front of him like a shield, its heavy objective resting on his paunch. With a start, you recognize him. You remember the face, the shaded sunglasses from a picture next to a byline in some trashy paper. The article was about a friend of yours, an artist, who was reported to be dating a celebrity. It was true, but the celebrity didn't want to be associated with your friend and broke it off afterwards. For months, your friend would curse Doherty's name.
Hey, don't go around scaring people like that.
I'm a huge fan. Wow, you're Frank Doherty. Love your work.
Thank you. It's nice to have one's work appreciated.
So, a reporter, huh?
Yeah, democracy dies in darkness, as they say. It's a noble calling. Do you live here? I'm working on a story about a local resident. Her name is Sophie Langley. Everybody knows her in high society circles. From the way you look, I'm guessing you might know her too. She's a redhead. Pretty as a picture. And there are a lot of pictures of her through the years. That's the thing, in fact. Look at this.
Frank pulls out his phone and starts showing you pictures. Some have been downloaded from news sites, while others are photos from the society pages of newspapers from past decades. All show Sophie. She has different clothes, hairstyles, makeup, names, but the face remains the same. That's strange, so what do you think is going on? They're all hot. Other than that, I'm not sure. So you're a stalker of some sort? Yeah, let's do it. So you're a stalker of some sort?
Come on! I'm just doing my job.
So why does this matter? This must be important. You must have a theory about what's happening.
I have a theory or two. But before I print my theory, I need facts to bring it up. 3 words. Extreme plastic surgery. All the celebrities do it. Only her doctor is better than the rest. Only her doctor is better than the rest.
You look critically at the photos on Frank's phone. No doctor is that good. Hook me up with this miracle doctor. You're looking for a doctor in an alley. You're thinking the world's best plastic surgeon is working out of this alley?
Okay, fine. I don't know what this is about. So how would you explain it?
I know Sophie personally. Ancient medicines. It's a hoax. I know. You gotta understand that I know Sophie pretty well. We move in the same circles.
So why can't you tell me about her?
She's a society princess. She's a tragic family background. She's a philanthropist. Ooh, nothing's more boring than charity. Secretly, she's a great philanthropist. Gives to charity all the time.
I'm sure she kisses a lot of babies, too. Who cares? I gotta have something usable.
Leave and destroy your research. You look Frank in the eyes. They are red behind his shaded glasses, veins popping from years of neglecting his body. Suddenly, he seems soft, easy to manipulate, his will nothing but plaster crumbling under your boot. Go home and destroy your research on Sophie Langley. As your vampiric gaze takes over Frank's mind, he feels less than a person and more like an automaton, a machine you can program. Perhaps this is why older vampires are said to think of humans as nothing but animals. How can you consider someone a thinking person with free will when you can override them at any moment? Frank is mumbling, fondling his camera, inching around you to the entrance of the alley. He looks sad and worn as he goes. A man who used to be something is now just a shell. It feels almost embarrassing to use your powers of your blood on someone so weak. At least you're pretty sure he'll stay away. Wow. On that note, sorry, Frank. Back. I always forget. Save and exit. Okay. Oops. I meant to do this. And to the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I had a blast. I love chilling and reading the story. I have fun doing the voices, and I don't know. It's just a good time. And so I'm going to raid over to another channel. Whoever is online now, let me know in the chat, and we can set that up. I think there were 2 that we were going in between. But yeah. Whew, thank you so much. We have fun watching you. Aw, thank you. I love chill time with you guys too. Ooh, Random Tuesday and Party Week games. Oh, so let's do Random Tuesday. Raid. Oops. Raid. Random Tuesday. Great. This channel is intended for mature audiences. So was mine, I guess. Yay. All right. So we are going to be heading over there. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We'll be here for Vampire next week at 4 p.m. Pacific. Before then, I will be here on Twitch playing Pokemon next Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific, and then at Q Times for episode 2 of Clear Skies, our new Star Trek RPG show, at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I think that's... Oh, and also there's a new Dark Lanterns, the Eberron show that I did with Dungeons & Dragons and Saving Throw. They're being uploaded over onto the Wizards of the Coast Dungeons & Dragons YouTube channel. They were on hiatus over the New Year break, but now they're back with a new episode. Yeah, it's a good time. Yes, I'll give my love to Bonnie. Thank you so much, and Queer Skies!